Hey, I'm back yet again. Today we are talking about that we now have a locked in Eastern Conference Finals. It is going to be between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Jalen Brunsons. Now, I know it's been a whole team effort over there. I honestly think for me, it's literally the best case scenario in the Eastern Conference. I really didn't want to see the Cavs in there. I definitely don't want to see Boston win again. Um, Obviously, Indiana is kind of a small market team, and you kind of tend to want to root for them. You know what I mean? And New York is obviously a pretty big market team, but they haven't won in quite a while. Um, if you don't know who the Indiana Pacers have, they have Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, Benedict Mathurin, Andrew Nembhard. I believe that's their starting rotation. Those are the guys I think about the most when I think about the Pacers. Yeah, they have like T.J. McConnell, James Johnson. Is Neesmith over there? I think Neesmith's still over there, and Obi Toppin. Yeah, I heard Obi Toppin's name the other day. Either way, the Pacers are they're kind of an underrated team, right? They don't get talked about quite a bit at all, and I quite don't really understand that. But at the same time, as I mentioned, it's kind of a smaller market. And those kind of things kind of turn out to be that case. But they've been a team that's been pretty much hard charging ever since the start of the season. And with that being said, they're taking on a team that I think everybody expected to be good. I don't think people expected them to get as far as they did. I definitely didn't, just kind of off the top of my head. Um, I knew New York would be good. They have Jalen Brunson. I think OG Ananobi is starting for them. They have they have Miles Bridges. They have Cat, Carl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart. Um, is Miles McBride still over there? I'm pretty sure Miles McBride. No, I know for a fact I've heard his name. Um, I honestly looked at that team and thought that they kind of live and die by how their starting rotation is. But they do have a pretty solid group, like Landry Shamet and Kevin McCullough, Dion Wright, kind of stuff like that. And they ended up getting like a little bit of experience early on in the year, if I remember right, with PJ Tucker. I sure hope that's a team that signed PJ Tucker, because otherwise I'm gonna sound really dumb. Um, and of course they have a really good defensive center and Mitchell Robinson. Um, I'm very aware of this team because this team gets talked about quite a bit. And I mean, to be honest with you, this team was really, really good last year. They dealt with a lot of injuries, and then that's what caused them to not get to this point in last year. But this year they played the Boston Celtics, and who knows what would have happened if Tatum didn't go down. From what I understand, they were about to go 3-1 either way if Tatum didn't go down. And at that point, I think the Knicks probably still get the job done at home. I think that that's going to be the case in pretty much either direction there. Um, yeah, we're talking about these two teams. Their roads here are actually kind of crazy, right? New York, they beat Detroit. I believe they took them to 5 games, and Indiana Pacers beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee is kind of on the down low. I know a lot of people are talking about Giannis moving places. Let me be honest here, right out of the get go. I hope that doesn't happen. I think it's really cool for a team to play for one organization his entire career. But if they decide to make that move, I don't blame them whatsoever. It's probably a cap room hit and all that kind of jazz. Either way, um, getting right into this series, right? Indiana, I think, in my opinion, I think I would take Jalen Brunson over Tyrese Halliburton overall. I think Tyrese is a better passer, and maybe I'm kind of crazy thinking that. Um, as a defensive center, I would take Miles Turner over Cat all day long. As an offensive player, I'd probably take Cat. I like Pascal Siakam as a power forward better than I like whoever they're sticking out there over there in New York. Um, but that being said, I like Josh Hart or Miles Bridges better than Benedict Mathurin. I think that this team is actually going to be a. I think this is going to be a really, really good series. And if I remember right, apparently, um, this was hyped up on WWE TV last year. Weirdly enough, where they had Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton come out. Which, by the way, if that is true, which I'm assuming it is, because why else would I have heard that? That is awesome. I love that so very much. Um, I think this is going to be a really, really tight series, and I'm really excited to see who goes to the finals. This is a really exciting matchup, especially because it's kind of like whoever goes is kind of a breath of fresh air at this point. And I think I'm going to lock in with New York winning. I think it goes to at least game 6, though. Um, I could see 7. Um, I don't think either team blows each other out of the water. I think what I like the most is I like the starting rotation the most from what New York's giving. Um, the big man play I think is actually kind of even, right? Because Mitchell Robinson I think can play that defender role just as well as Miles Turner at times. Not quite as good. Miles Turner is a very very good one, but I think that they're going to get even more production out of their guards. Um, yeah, I think this goes to New York. I think it's going to be a very close series, though. I really do. I really think that Indiana has a really good team this year. But yeah, I don't think I think I'm gonna lock in New York in 6 games. And what I think I'm gonna do with that one is I'm going to pick um oh wait, no, I'm not gonna pick because we're gonna preview that one tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the Western Conference tomorrow because Denver plays OKC. But we'll get to that one at some point, right? Either way, I hope you do enjoy the video. If you do, what you should do is leave a like, leave a comment, and even subscribe. Maybe hit that bell if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.